Hello everybody, today as promised I have some duels with my Stardust Assault Hero deck list for the Edison Format 2010. If you're interested in seeing the deck list itself, check out the video I posted yesterday, and I go over it there. Let's get into the duel. We start off by losing the die roll, very unfortunate, but that's okay. We won't be able to open Stardust Assault mode, but we do have a hand that will allow us to get to Stardust Assault mode second turn. We'll be able to summon Stratos, search melee, discard melee for break, and then next turn summon the Plague and Assault mode. Alright, so this is a pretty good hand. We also have a Miracle Fusion, so we'll have some plays in the mid game. Now our opponent is on X-Sabers, so he starts off by floating with his Emerus Blade. We'll go ahead and set our back rows. Alright, our opponent makes a big misplay here, blind MSTing right into our Chainable Raigeki Break, so we'll pop that so we won't be able to synchro this turn and pop our back row with a Halayan Lay. He has Swords Revealing Light, so this is really going to slow things down a bit. We're going to go ahead and summon Plague. We'll go into our Stardust here. Now, unfortunately, I forgot he has Swords. You don't see that card often, so I was just trying to attack. But no big deal. We'll set our cards and pass. Assault mode immediately, guys. I want Assault mode immediately so my opponent doesn't have an opportunity to activate anything before I Assault mode. Alright, our opponent sets his Rescue Cat. Unfortunately, I don't read the set Rescue Cat, so I don't try to bounce and kill it. If I had bounced with the Bryanek, my opponent would be in a much tougher spot as I attack over his Rescue Cat. Alright, we negate the Brain Control. We're forced to, which sucks. He flips his Rescue Cat, summons some Arabellums. Now this is a pretty good play on our opponent's part here. He's going to flip the Morphing Jar, chain Econ to take the Bryanek, alright? So at this point, things are not looking good for me. I lost my Miracle. He's going to be pushing for big damage and discarding multiple cards from my hand. But the fact of the matter is, he still has that Stardust Assault mode he's going to have to deal with. He's going to have a really hard time playing around that. So he's going to Bryanek, bounce the back row. He's going to keep going. I was expecting him to drop his level 6 X-Saber and just win the game here, but he didn't have it, so he's going to push big, discard cards, but he's not going to kill me here. So as long as I have that Stardust Assault mode and I'm alive, this game is in my favor. Sucks he hit the break. That's probably the best card I had in my hand. It would have outed whatever he could have summoned here next, which would be the Golems, of course. Definitely have a Golems coming here. Bryanek bounces himself, and he bounces his sword so he can use it again. Very frustrating. He goes into the Golems. Now this is bigger than my Stardust, so I'm going to be in a bit of a tricky situation. He even has the Trap Dust Shoot though. So how the heck am I going to come back after getting Trap Dust Shooted too? Like, I bet he's feeling pretty safe right now. Swords, he Trap Dust Shooted me. He puts back the Gruffer. Unfortunate. I do still have access to a Bryanek play though. That's all I needed here. I'll Bryanek, bounce the big guy back. I don't need to neg myself to bounce the swords yet because my opponent now has very little resources. We'll go ahead and discard, bounce the swords, and we'll push for big damage here, guys. Now that I have a Bryanek and the Assault mode, my opponent will not be able to hide behind his continuous spells at all, right? He activates swords, I negate it. Now I could activate the level of Mary B, but I'm just going to bounce it once again, guys. It does not matter. Alright, let's look at the next game. Start off going second again because we're a winner, and we do not get to go first ever. Alright, now here we sided in our Divine Wraths. Now as I said before, the Divine Wraths are kind of awkward, especially if you actually need to get rid of a monster, which in those cases, Raigeki Break is better. Now you're thinking, why would I ever need to get rid of a monster? You have Stardust Assault mode. Well, the thing is, if my opponent summons a 3000 attack or higher monster, my Stardust Assault mode suddenly fails, right? And if they're able to do that with an Inherit Summon with like JD or maybe synchroing in the Colossal Fighter, there's no real coming back from there without some kind of monster destruction. So you start out searching your Malicious, and we just swing into this guy. We had Heavy Storm for his 2 back row, so he's got nothing. Now he does have a Soul Release here, guys. That could be a problem. Go ahead and summons Monk, discards a Soul Release, probably a bad idea on his part. We have Divine Wrath, discard Mally for that Monk. Now that's an even trade, 2 cards for 2 cards, but we do have the Mally that floats too, so that was very good. We top deck Apprentice Magician. We have the Mally engraved, guys. Maybe phase 2, we go into it. Now the reason we attacked first was in case he had Gores. We didn't want to give him a big Gores token. Stardust, search your assault mode, and we're in. Like, my opponent has 2 cards, he's going to have 3 cards in hand. There's no coming back from this, guys. I imagine he's going to scoop it up from here. Yep, he just left. Good game, summon Stardust Assault mode, win. Now, we summoned them both games in pretty efficient manners. That's important to note. Now let's go on to another match. Alright, we're going first this time, guys. Very good, very good. Alright, now this opening hand here, we do have assault mode play, but not on the first turn, I would say, right? So we go ahead and search our assault mode, activate. Stratos into Mally. We got the Mally to discard for Greph for next turn to send Plague, getting us into our assault mode play. Alright, we just gotta live a turn. So he summons Garroth. He's playing Lightsworns. Now, Lightsworns is actually a very hard matchup for this deck because of the fact JD has 3000 attack. What will happen a lot of times is my opponent will summon JD and just crash into the assault mode. So ideally, we will prevent him from getting 4 Lightsworns in the grave quickly. That's not always possible. So we're gonna go ahead. We'll go ahead and top deck for Plague here. Summon that. We don't want another assault mode, so we shuffle that back in by banishing the Mally. We go into our Stardust. Now here, we will not be attacking with a Stardust because we do know he might have Honest, so we're going to assault mode right away. He flips Decree. Now this would have been the end for me, a fat neg too, but unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we have MST. We'll hit him with the MST. We always save that MST for situations like this. Summon the Stardust Assault mode. Now our opponent's in trouble now. We're going to attack with Assault mode. He's going to big think. He's got Honest. He's going to drop the Honest. He wants to keep his Garroth on the field apparently. I probably wouldn't have Honested like that. He's got Solar Recharge. He's going to activate it. We're just going to negate that. We're going to shotgun negate that. We don't want him to mill. He's going to attack. And set his Avarice as a bluff. At this point, our opponent's done for, right? We got Future Fusion, we got the Miracle, we're just going to push him in. Now at this point in this list, we are actually playing Dasher as another target to search with Stratos, and as a discard for Grepher. I do like the Dasher, allows us to special summon guys from our hands too, that we draw, very useful. I ended up cutting it for Torrential Tribute though, because I thought Torrential Tribute would do a better job of keeping me alive once I have the Stardust and my opponent tries to do that push. But anyway, we're able to summon Ab-Zero. Ab-Zero is a great addition to this deck because it does mean that outside of your opponent having brain control, you are going to live. So your opponent won't be able to make a push after they force a assault mode negate, making it a very useful addition to this deck too. Alright, our opponent ends up losing, scooping right there. We'll go into game 2. Going second this time. Now we do open kind of an awkward hand here from what we see. Maybe our 6th card will make it good, and it does. We now have Future Fusion Apprentice Magician, which means we will have a first turn assault mode. Oh wait, no, that it doesn't actually. I'm sorry. We drew our Ocean, so we cannot summon, or we cannot send Malicious. So we go ahead and Future Fusion still. We get ourselves an Earth Engraved, get to that Gaia. The Gaia will allow us to make the play. It'll just be a little bit later. Now, unfortunately, I misplayed and I activated Future Fusion first. The Future Fusion is going to get popped, and this puts us in a bad spot because he milled a wolf. He can now kill our Ocean, so that was a pretty big misplay on our part. So he's going to go ahead and attack over the Ocean. He's going to get his mill, so he's going to be able to get into his engine. Unfortunately, he has Decree, and we do not have an out. So regardless of what happens, I feel like we are in deep trouble. Now the Plague is good because this will mean we'll be able to get into our assault mode play. He got another wolf. So we can go Grepher, discard Plague, send Mally, summon Plague, top deck that assault mode. Very good. Don't want that assault mode. Go into Stardust. We'll attack over his Aaron. We'll opt not to attack with Stardust because we do not want to risk the Stardust. Set Assault mode. And this is where things go bad this duel, guys. During standby phase, I try to Assault mode. He flips Decree, and that's a good game for us, guys. Lightsworns is definitely one of our harder matchups, especially with the main Decrees and sided Decrees. That's okay. We got game 3 here, guys, to make a comeback. All right, side decking completed. Going into game 3. All right, this hand is a little awkward. Now it's good. We got the Dark Gruffer. All right, so we got the melee. We can do the Dark Gruffer play. We choose not to, though, because we don't have access to our Assault mode activate. We're going to save that play. Doesn't matter. We drew Assault mode. We have Plague to top deck it. Pops the Starlight Rogue. Kind of unfortunate. Now we drew our Assault mode. This means it's go time, guys. All right, we're going to special the Gruffer, discarding the melee. We'll send our Dasher to set for future plays. We'll summon the Plague, top decking that. Then the melee, so that gets shuffled into the deck. And not drawn next turn. Go into our Stardust. Now, thankfully, his Lila's in defense, so we don't have to fear Honest. We'll just swing in for a bunch of damage here, guys. This back row is a bluff again. It could be Decree if it was Decree. We do have the MST this time. Alright. Assault mode immediately, so you can't do anything tricky. Boom. Alright, now from this point on, we do have one thing we have to worry about, and that is the fact that our opponent could very easily get 2 more Lightsworns in the grave. So we need to go in quick here. He tries to bait the Assault mode. He does this so he can Honest over the Stratos, and then he'll be able to get his mill on the end phase. Now he does have all the Lightsworns he needs in order to JD us, so any JD he draws now will be a big problem. We shuffled in the Assault mode and then still drew it back. Very unfortunate. Our opponent scoops up here, though, realizing that he is a dead man. Now, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this deck list. It's a lot of fun. You feel really powerful playing a card like Assault mode. It feels more like you're playing a more modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Compared to everybody else. It is important to note, though, it has some incredible weaknesses, DD Crow being the main weakness of this deck. Other weaknesses being things like Royal Decree chained to the Assault mode. Assault and Judgment on the Assault mode is probably the best time to Judgment us for a +1. Even more if I committed more resources into that Stardust. So guys, I really recommend you give it a try. There are other variants of this, guys. I'm working on a variant where it's a more conservative build, where I only play the Sorcerers, the Apprentices, and play more of a standard kind of meta deck. So I'll be posting a video on that in the near future. Please check it out. But until then, have a nice day, guys.